We drank the blood of some people, but the people were on drugs. And now I'm a wizard. Now I'm a wizard. Now I'm a wizard. Now I'm a wizard. We drank the blood of some people, but the people were on drugs. And now I'm a wizard. Now I'm a wizard.
Hello everyone. Hey Romans, how are you doing? Pikmin, how are you doing? Good to see you. Hope you guys are all doing well. Thanks for being here tonight. Happy Friday. We are just, we're just a little over a week and a half-ish before Adepticon. That is exciting. Adepticon is right around the corner. Beginning of the, it's gonna be awesome. I'm so looking forward to that. Welcome on in, everybody. Thanks for being here. How you doing? We're gonna work a little bit on our Golden Demon. I've got a couple other things that I want to work on as well, but we got to put a little bit of time into the Golden Demon. Try and shore this up where we can for the Golden Demon painting competition. It's going to be some really, really cool competition there. There's going to be a lot of really cool pieces. I've been able to talk to a few people that are working on their Golden Demons, and people like Pikmin here in the chat who's working on stuff for other competitions as well. And some of you may or may not be aware, Adepticon is a pretty heavy painting competition convention. So there's quite a few of them there, and there seem to be more added every year. So I am looking forward to that, and I do hope to take some video and things like that of stuff that I see, of cool pieces that I see. I've tried taking video and doing TikToks and stuff like that of the Golden Demon cases last year, but there's so much. It gets so boring. It gets so boring to watch all those TikToks. It's not boring to make. You know, you just show all these cool things, but God, there's so much. But I definitely want to hit up some of the other competitions. I've never actually gone to the Worthy or looked at it. Resin Beast I want to spend some time at and maybe highlight a couple of my favorite pieces, things like that. But there's Monuments also doing a new competition. I don't know if P3 is doing a competition this year or not, but there's so much. There's so much. Right now we're just working on the hair plume back here, trying to punch it up a little bit, make it look a little bit shinier, a little bit brighter. Just so that it looks like it's high quality hair strands rather than just like some cheap synthetic or something like that. Basically, we want this decorative plume to look like it's in a Maybelline commercial. Want that nice shimmer in here if we can get it. That just means we're painting it to be fairly reflective, choosing areas that are exposed to the light source, in this case the sun, a little bit more. To the top of some of these curves where light would hit. The ends of the hair here, some of these strands. Hope everyone's having a good Friday so far. Is anybody working on anything? Anybody doing any hobbying while you're hanging out here? Thank you all for the likes over on the TikTok. Appreciate that. Glad to have you all here. Hey, Android, how are you doing? Good to see you. We are going to be doing Community Spotlight later in the stream. Just looking at stuff that people have posted in the Discord, and if anybody has anything they want to share, and they want to post that in the Twitch chat as well, can go ahead and do that. But Friday's kind of our community spotlight night, where we take a look at stuff that the community's been working on and everyone's own personal projects, and see how cool they are. Waiting for basing paste to dry for my Shelob model. Oh, very cool, Songbird. Is that the new? Because I knew there was a new spider kit for Lord of the Rings that came out. Is it the same one, or is it the older kit? Because I think there was an older Shelob kit back in the day. Yeah, the new sculpt. Nice. How is it? Finishing work on my entries. Posted update pics of the worthy entry. Excellent. We'll make sure to take a look at those. I had the metal one, never assembled it because it looked like a Hey, giant, what do you mean? Giant metal models with really spindly legs? Those should go together like a dream, right? Those should be super simple to do. I mean, they're just, metal, and they're just expected to hold up their own weight while the glue's drying. Like, I don't foresee any problems with that. I'm kidding, obviously. Well, good. I'm glad the new model seems to be better, at least in that respect. Shelob. Let's see. Hair's looking lustrous. Starting to get there. Okay, the next thing I wanted to work on were some of these pipes, because I did not do a good job of rendering them terribly well the last time. So some of these pipes just have barely any like actual highlighting or anything like that done to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some dark neutral gray. We're going to make sure that we've got a dark neutral gray base tone on all of these. Then we'll go up to neutral gray and make sure that's taken care of on all of these, so that they look like the light's bouncing properly. We are going to go over the work we did last time. So we're going to cover that up just so it's not distracting, and so it helps me visualize. Keeping the spider separate from the base for painting. That's probably a good idea. Quetzal! The Quaddle. Just picked up some metal demonettes, but I have a question. Have you had any experience stripping paint off old Warhammer models? Oh, it's 10 complete demonettes for $150. That... So they're the old metal demonettes with the bare chests. Those are really classic models. Really sought after by a lot of people. So yeah, with old metal models, you've got a lot more options just because metal's less reactive than plastic. Generally, I use 90+% isopropyl alcohol for plastic and metal, as well as resin. I've never had a problem with that affecting them. Yeah, the Juan Diaz sculpts. Yeah. Yeah, 90+% isopropyl alcohol is what I typically use, but also Simple Green, undiluted Simple Green, or LA's Totally Awesome. Both of those work. Since they're metal, you could use brake fluid. You could use acetone, like nail polish remover with acetone in it. You could use raw acetone as well, but all of those, I'm gonna guess you're gonna want lots of ventilation and gloves. So I just tend to use gloves with isopropyl and or Simple Green or LA's Totally Awesome. The Simple Green and LA's Totally Awesome are both drain safe as well. Like you don't have to take them to a special place to get rid of them like you would for brake fluid or some of these others. Yeah. If it's something you want and it's at a price that you're okay with, yeah, absolutely. When you see stuff like that, 100% jump on them. Yeah, those are really nice figures. I've seen them in the past at a couple stores here, but they've always been a great deal more than I was willing to pay at the time. So I never picked them up. So glad you found them at a decent price. Just started painting. What's your biggest tip for baby painters? My biggest tip for baby painters is paint often. It is you are going to develop and get better at painting if you paint for a short period of time every day, rather than if you sit down and spend like 8 hours painting on one day a week or one day a month. You know, it's 100% depends on what you're capable of doing and what your real life schedule allows, because real life should always take precedent, right? Real life is real life. This is just painting little toy soldiers. This is not that serious. But if you want to develop your brush control, develop your ability to manipulate paint and respond and know how to get your brush to apply paint in nice clean ways, the best thing you can do is paint fairly often, because that develops your muscles, it develops your hand-eye coordination, and it allows you to fail often enough that you learn how to recover from failure. Because you're gonna fail, you're gonna mess up. That's just how it is. And if you want to do really nice thin lines and things like that, you have to develop your muscle control to do that. You have to develop your ability to sense when the brush is touching the model and how much pressure you're putting on the brush. And the best way to do that is to paint fairly often. And even if it's even if it's 15 minutes a day, that's still going to advance you faster than if you do 6 hours on a Monday every other Monday or something like that. So my advice is to try to paint every day, even if it's just one brush stroke. Try to paint every day, if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Your progression might be a little slower, and that's fine. It kind of depends on what you want to do, like how high up the painting ladder do you want to go. So it's not the end of the world to not shoot for the moon. If you're just wanting to paint models and you don't want to do competition or display or anything like that, then don't worry about it. But your muscle control is going to develop more when you paint more often. just because it's very much like practicing piano or guitar, or if you're practicing, throwing a football or kicking a soccer ball and making a goal. The repetition is something your brain starts to learn, and it starts to develop that coordination between your brain and your muscles. And painting is not physically active like those sports are, but it is physically the coordination is there. You do have to coordinate. You do have to have that control of your muscles if you want to really get better and have more accurate painting and be more confident in your ability to try new things. So I'd say biggest thing is paint often. Don't paint once a week. Paint as often as you can. And again, it doesn't matter if you're painting for 30 minutes or it doesn't matter if you're painting for an hour. Just paint every day if you can. A little bit. Just a little bit. That will develop you faster. Obviously, the more you paint, the more often you paint, the faster you'll go. Shout out to Wilson from Castaway. Poor Wilson. Prefer rubbing alcohol strips paint and can have a drink. Oh, don't drink rubbing alcohol. Don't drink rubbing alcohol. You can, but I wouldn't. I haven't taken pictures in my Sanguinary Guard, so I haven't posted anything on the server. Hey, that's not a problem, Android. You post pictures when and if you ever want to. It is never a requirement. It is never an expectation. When you are ready or when you've got pictures, we'd love to see them. But until then, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. We'll just assume you're not actually painting. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Does that answer? Is that a decent tip there, Concreftador? I've seen that. I've seen that TikTok. That's hysterical. Yeah, other tips. If anybody wants any other tips, learn to dry fit your models when you're assembling them. Don't just start slapping glue on them and put them together. Clean them up. Make sure the pieces all fit together, and you know how they fit together before you put glue on them. Excuse me. I'm dying over here. I forgot to change my username. That's not your regular username? Cheesearoo? Is that your normal username? That's funny. Yeah, it definitely... Cheesearoo. Yeah, it definitely says Concreftador right now. Which is hysterical, because I get that reference. Or at least the reference to the TikTok or the reel. Of the guy, of the girlfriend who's watching her boyfriend play, and she leans over and looks at the username he's had with the boys since like he was in high school, and it's Concreftador, and she just loses it. And then of course he loses it. He thinks it's hysterical, and she's just like, "What? This is my emergency contact?" It's like, yes. Gotta understand, men are simple creatures. If we think it's funny, it's gonna happen. I've posted exactly one in progress paint photo. Oh, excellent. That's all right. Oh, I used a little too much pressure there, and I got a little too much paint down. Just let's see. Since I'm gonna do the Night Lords, I'm gonna practice doing thin lines with the lightning. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Just do a little bit of a reflection right there. This is really, really small. This is definitely the weakest part of my Golden Demon entry, is these little bits on the back of like non-metallic metal and stuff like that. They're my weakest part. I'm not gonna take time to blend them all out. Quality work. Hey, thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Put a lot of work into this. Sinjin, I don't know if you noticed, but we punched up the orange pigment a lot more, and I tried doing bright orange, but then also work in some browns, a little bit more browns, just so it's not bright orange everywhere. But I also made sure to keep some of the black rock a little exposed, because I didn't want it all just to be orange, right? Blends are... Oh, Chef's Kiss, thank you. Thank you very much. It's a lot of layering, a lot of glazing. Yeah, really happy with them. There's some that could be smoother, like up in here. They could be smoother. There's definitely some weak points in here, but that's okay. That's okay for right now. Like, I'm not gonna win a demon with this. It's not gonna win a golden demon, that's for certain. But I have learned a huge amount, and I continue to learn as I continue to get feedback from people, and that's the most important thing. I want the feedback, and I feel proud of this. Let's see. I had to pre-order the Combat Patrol. I couldn't let that pass. Probably a limited release. Which Combat Patrol? I know that they've had a couple put out recently. Let's work on... Work on, see if we can punch up this glow a little bit more. It's a little inconsistent in some of the glowy areas, so we're gonna punch this up with a little red orange, make that a little bit more intense, and then we'll go back up into orange in the more intense, brighter spots. Because what I'm trying to the idea I'm trying to communicate here with each of these is that there's a lot of power on the inside, and that power is kind of glowing out through these vents, but then it's also heating up this metal shell, which is why it's dark around the metal vents, because more heat is like escaping through the vent, and then heat's also building up on the center portion of each of these, and so it's starting to glow from the inside and spread out a little bit. That's what I'm trying to communicate here, and I think it's okay, but I think I'm worried about making it too orange and too intense, because I think it might end up just looking orange. So I'm trying to figure out, trying to not figure out, but I'm trying to get kind of that gradual increase in the how glowy and strong it is. So if you look like a wood fire stove that's just really red hot, you'll see that it goes from that kind of dark metal, and then it just starts to glow and it becomes kind of like that cherry red. And the more intense the heat gets, the more it glows, the more orange it gets towards the middle of that cherry red. That's what I'm trying to do here. Is I don't want this to look like it's about to like completely overheat and fall apart. I want it to look like it is working, it is glowing, it is hot. But I don't know if I'm communicating that well enough, and that's something that maybe I just don't get it right on this time, and then I can get feedback and say, hey, how do I communicate this idea a little bit better? And if anybody has any ideas, feel free. I'm not just talking about feedback from my peers or anything. Y'all are part of my community. So if you've got feedback on like, well, I don't think it looks glowy because of XYZ, we can take a look at that and we can take it into consideration and see what we can do to maybe make it a little bit more glowy looking. I don't want to go into yellow necessarily, just because that's if metal has reached the yellow stage, it is just about to fall apart and turn into just liquid metal. I don't want it to be that hot, if that makes sense. But glowing up into orange, that makes sense. Okay, what else do we need to do? There's so many different things that we could be doing. Honestly, get my stuff out for non-metallic metal gold, because if the orange are supposed to be hot spots, like if that's what it's communicating now, that means other orange areas on the model other than the ground are going to also read as like, wait, shouldn't that be hot too? And that's not the case. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our gold non-metallic metal colors here. I'm going to go back, I'm going to go over these pods here. I'm going to cover that orange, and we're going to make these gold on both sides. And then the wires that are currently orange, those will be altered to another color. Maybe like a bright blue. We're going to let that paint dry. And donde. Make it more glowy, I would make sure to have the surfaces around the glowing parts have light shining on them. The glow is sold by the way light around us. Yeah, but yeah. So I do have a little bit of that, but I think you're right. They maybe get some orange glowing up on here. It's just I don't want these to be glowing like a light bulb. That's what these holes are, and you can see there's some light spilling out of them. This I want to be glowing like hot metal, not like lava, not like anything like that, but just like hot metal. But I think you're right that maybe getting some orange up in here, like on the rim from the glow, I think that's what I should do. I think you're right there. I just don't want it to be glowing like a light bulb. I want to be careful with that. Hydrate. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. I will drink here in just a moment. I don't have water handy, but I do have some sooty. But appreciate that. And you're right. The glow is always sold by the way it affects the surfaces around it. And I think the thing I'm having problems navigating with that and with applying it everywhere is like judging how intense that light on surrounding areas should be for the lighting situations, for the type of OSL source it is. And I'm just worried about like overdoing it. And I shouldn't worry about it too much. Yeah, keep the value low and controlled. Yeah, I shouldn't worry about it too much because that's how we learn. We have to fail in order to learn, right? And so I have to be willing to fail a little bit in order to improve my OSL. Which means in order to fail, I have to try. And as annoying as that is, it is the case. It is the truth. You will never learn if you don't try and end up failing. So I'm going to really quickly repaint this wire to be a different color, to be blue, just a regular kind of primary blue, rather than orange, because orange is going to read as heat. I don't want that to be misread anywhere. Here's the other one. I'm just going to redo that real fast. I'm going to let that dry, and then let's take our burnt red. So that's a pretty like low desaturated red. And we're going to make that pretty transparent. Almost like a fat glaze than like a full-on glaze, but nowhere near as opaque as a layer. So it's kind of in the middle ground between them a little bit. Do a little bit of, that's too much. I don't know how much this is going to show up. I'm trying to do a red glow effect right around the rim of this. And we can also have just a little bit of it out here, in between the more intense yellow. I don't think that red's showing up much. I'm locking in here, so I'm a little quiet. Let's see. I can't think of the word, but I kind of wanted the paint Shelob to be like evil green accents. Ooh, instead of red accents, kind of like an evil ethereal paint scheme. That sounds really cool. Yeah, when I think of Shelob, like the thing that pops in my head is actually purple. I'm not sure why, but like purple pops into my head, but green, like green accents for like the venom and the poison that she exudes, that would work really well too, 100%. I definitely don't get, when I visualize Shelob, I definitely don't get red. I'm not sure where they came up with that, but I'm definitely not getting red in my mental for Shelob. Definitely more purple, or maybe blue or purple or something like that. Green works too. I think green works just fine. Because I think it should be a cold color because she's underground, but also it should be like the type of like cold color that is that it speaks of like death. So things like purple or green for poison or undeath or cold, that works really well for her. Just kind of like gets the lizard brain going of like, oh, that's bad. That's the bad color. That's a bad color. Lizard brain no likey. Sorry, I know he's not on camera at the moment. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. So I can work on the red a little bit more. It's definitely the red. I'm keeping it so thin that it's not. It's getting kind of like washed out by the teal underneath. I think I might need to punch up the intensity of it a little bit. Do a couple more layers in a couple spots. But I also don't want it to be like a spotlight. I don't want it to be super strong. It's getting that balance of like, okay, this Votann is in the day. So the glow needs to, I want the glow to show, but the glow can't be too bright because that means that the glow is brighter than the sun. And that's not going to make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, just trying to find a nice little balance. It's going to be important. A wizard would like to renew their membership. Oh, who's that? Ford! It's going well. How are you doing? Welcome on back. Thank you for renewing your subscription. Appreciate that. Appreciate you being here. We'll get you your stamp here in just a second. We've got about 15 minutes before our first break, and then we'll go into Community Spotlight for a bit. See what everybody's been doing. not happy with the red glow. It's got too much harsh border with these. I'm going to try and soften this with a fairly transparent teal. I'm still locked in here. Give me a second. I haven't forgotten that everybody else exists. I just have to pretend for a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit better. It's a little less of a harsh break there. I like how the fig is coming along, even the glow is being problematic. Yeah, I may get it, I may not, but yeah, no, I actually feel really good about this, at least for where I am right now, with my abilities. It's certainly a level up. I think a level up piece for me, which has been great. It's good to have a level up piece, or you feel like you've improved. You don't always get that. All right. Ford, here is your library card. Here's your stamp or your card, and let's get you your new stamp for a new month. Boom. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Look at that beautiful color. Look at that. Look at that embossing. That's fantastic. They've outdone themselves. The stamp crew, the ink crew have once again done an incredible job. If you can't see anything, don't worry about it. It's a wizard stamp. It's a magical stamp. Only wizards can see it. So if you can't see it, that just means you're not a wizard yet. So just chill, hang out here in the great library, read some books, have some discussions, talk about painting, and eventually you will be able to see those stamps because that knowledge will seek into your brain. Yeah, orange and black. Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice. Where's my regular yellow? I know I have the regular yellow in here somewhere, right? Yeah, where's my regular yellow go? Huh. Weird. Okay. I just want to punch up the brightness of that center light just a teeny bit. So right now it's just kind of standing there menacingly. Like a psychopath. There we go. Just punch it up just a little bit. I don't want to distract from the face, the head. I don't want to distract from it, but I also don't want this to just look like it's nothing. Get a little bit of little dot of white right there in the middle, just to give it a little bit of brightness next to the yellow. That's good enough. Doesn't need to be much. Need to be much for what I'm doing, for what I want here. Okay. Oh, Dan, thank you so much. I didn't even see those gifted roses earlier. Appreciate that. Novel, how are you doing? Good to see you. Hello yourself. Okay. I think we're doing pretty good with this. Let's see. Worked on the hair back here. Worked on some of the gold, some of the non-metallic metals. Worked on the pipes a bit. Try and clean them up, make them look a little bit more presentable as non-metallic metalwork, which I did okay at. Yeah, I think we're in a pretty decent spot. We're definitely getting. I think we're getting up to the point where I'm just gonna call it and say, all right, we're good, we're solid. but we'll see. Fine and dandy. Doing all right. Doing okay. Getting ready for conventions because I've got a convention here locally in the Portland area the week before Adepticon, and then I take a day free, and then I fly out to Adepticon. So it's going to be a very busy a very busy couple of weekends coming up here. But I am looking forward to it. I'm always excited to go to Adepticon. It's my favorite convention so far to go to, out of all of them, just because I have said it's got a really special place in my heart. Yeah, super excited. Super excited. Yeah, very, very excited. One day, maybe we'll get out to Adepticon. Yeah, you should try. I think even if you don't go to Adepticon, if you go to any other conventions, I think they're definitely worth going to, if nothing else for the classes, and then just for camaraderie with other people who share the same passion for the same hobby you do. And even if you only get to go once, that's fine. If you get to go more than once, great. That's fantastic. Even if you only get to go once, I don't think you'd regret it. Unless something awful happens, in which case, But yeah, for it, absolutely. Me too. Okay, we're gonna set this aside for now. I'm gonna go ahead and take our break a little early here. So we're gonna step away for about 3 to 5 minutes. And while we're doing that, I'm gonna get some water, use the little wizard's room, and then when we come back, we'll do our community spotlight here. Now, one thing I want to point out here real quick is, see how this brush has this hair sticking out from the side, and you see how much shorter that hair is here. It's kind of broken off at some point, so don't pluck these. Take a hobby blade or something like that, follow it down to the base, and trim it. Cut it off. If you pluck it, it will, it could potentially damage the glue down in here and pull other hairs out. So it's better for you to trim it down next to the ferrule, and that way the rest of the hairs don't get disrupted. They just hear the screams of one of their own being cut off at the knees. That's all they see. That's fine. All right, everybody, we are gonna go take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. All right. We are back. Thank y'all for your patience. Set this off to the side here and let's open up Discord to pull up all of our works in progress. Okay, and then completed projects. Okay, ready to go with that. Okay, so, no novel. Go for it. Go for it. So we're gonna go ahead and start here. So this is from Pikmin Studios. This is a work in progress. This is his piece for the Worthy painting competition at Adepticon, and this is the Shadow King, if I remember correctly. He's told me a couple times and I can never remember. I think it's the Shadow King. He's just added the background to this. I saw him working on this on his stream a little while ago, a couple nights ago. It looks awesome. I'm really liking how he's worked all the glowing light, the OSL effect into the surrounding areas. That's really, really cool. You can see the glow from the magic is also hitting the wall back here, but then the glow from the lower parts of the smoke in the vase, it's hitting the vase back here. It's also hitting the ground, and you've got your cast shadow here. He's added in a cast shadow. There's another angle here. Yeah, look, two distinct legs there for the cast shadow. Oh, very nice. We've got the bits and pieces of the wall shooting off into what looks like the shadow realm or the void, and they're all glowing. They're reflecting light. So down here they're reflecting purple. Up here they're reflecting blue, just like the way he's got it here. The light, very, very nice. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Really, really nicely done, Pikmin. Yeah, very, 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 very nice. All right, so we're looking forward to seeing that in person in the shelves there. All right, let's pop back over to Discord and see. Now, Vile, when you have your stuff posted, let me know and we'll go back to it. For now, we're gonna pop over to Wired Hyena's stuff, the completed bust they did in the our completed projects area. Okay. So this is from Wired Hyena. This is a bust they've recently completed. Really, really pretty. Beautiful blonde hair. Love the turquoise or the teal turquoise dress. Absolutely love one of my favorite colors. Love that. Jewelry looks really nice. We got a close-up here. You can see the texture on the eyebrows. Very nice. This gem looks almost like it's faceted. That's very cool. The beautiful little tiara. I like most of the colors for the blonde. I like that quite a bit. There's a little bit of unsolicited advice, but I'd push the highlights harder. Honestly, I don't think it's reflective enough. But I like the colors. I just don't think there's enough contrast to make it look reflective enough or to be really shiny, healthy hair. Love the gems. Love the light reflecting off the gems there. Very, very nice. That's awesome. Like all the highlighting and the shadows in the dress. Definitely makes the dress look textured and it's ruffled the way it is, or it's rippled. Yeah, I like the highlight placement for the hair for this halo effect. I just think this needs to be bigger, and I think this needs to be more intense. It should be very, very bright, but overall I still like the colors. It should be hitting down here too on some of these. This is higher. This is raised up higher, the braid, so it should be catching some of that light in like areas down here where it's diving down into the rest of the weave. Those would still catch some light because they're shaped, they're curved in, so they're gonna catch light down there. These are gonna catch light up top. Yeah, still like the placement. Very nice. This is a beautiful model. Lots of beautiful flowing hair, some interesting braids to do cool, fun things with. Lots of whiplash style hair elements. It's definitely looks like she's kind of like out in the breeze almost. Beautiful. There's so many great models out there that are just fun to paint. Why are there so many models out there that are just cool to paint? There's too many models to actually do anything with. It's too many. Alright, does anybody else have anything that they want to add into the works in progress or the completed projects servers, or if they want to drop into the chat for us to take a look at? I know Nowvile had asked if they had time to add in. You do, and we can always go back to it. But those are the two entries we had for Community Spotlight this week. While we're doing that, waiting for anybody else, I'm show off a couple models that I'm getting ready. This is a large Beastman model from. Hey, no worries. I probably won't be streaming next week because I'll be at a convention, or I'll be exhausted from convention. We'll see. I'll let you know. But next Friday and the Tuesday after that and the Friday after that, I will most likely not be streaming because I've got conventions on both of those weeks. So we'll see. But yeah, if the internet's having a problem, don't worry about it. Just post your stuff anyway. And then we'll get to it when we get to it, and people can give you feedback or tell you how awesome it is. Between now and then. Okay, new spotlight. Okay. All right, so this is a Big Beastman model that I picked up from Army Painter. One of their, they were handing these out, I think a Adepticon ago or something. But he was really, really cool. Picked him up. So got him based, got him primed. That also picked up this Avatar of War demon model, but I cleaned him up and removed some of the demonic looking things of him, because to me he looks kind of like a shaman. So he's got this big shamanistic type mask here. I changed his staff weapon to not be spiky, but instead have, you know, more of a claw with a crystal up top. And I removed some of his piercings and stuff like that, so that he wouldn't look quite as self-mutilation tendency. And I'm going to be painting him up as probably a buffalo, you know, humanoid buffalo shaman or druid or something like that. I'm very happy with him. I really like the way he looks. But yeah, they're both primed in black, so it's kind of hard to see. Let's see. Other stuff I've been working on. I don't think I've finished anything. I've just been focusing on the Golden Demon. I did fix this dude, or I did finish this dude. We finished him mostly on stream. Dragon Horde Designs, you have that guy? Are you talking about the Kings of Wrath? This guy? Yeah, I just did some light modification to him so that he wouldn't look so quite as demonic, because I just wasn't going to use him as that. And so we're gonna paint him up as a shaman or a druid or something. I like this model a lot. Let's see. I've also been prepping some models for the Game Storm, the convention that I'm at. So I've got this model here. So one of the classes that I'm teaching, or one of the kind of the sessions that I'm doing, is the importance of contrast. So I've got this model here that I've just base coated, haven't done anything else on at all. It's just solid coats of paint, no shading, no washes, nothing. And then I took this model and I hit it with a wash. Did a black wash on the armor, and then it did a brown wash on the on everything else. And you can see there's a little bit of difference here, and you can see things are a little bit easier to read, right? So this is just showing what a difference a wash can make. And then I went from this model to this one, where I went in and I repainted in the highlights, and I pushed the highlights higher after the wash. So I did a wash on this, and then I came back in and started doing highlights. And so you can see each step is making the model a little bit easier to read, and it makes it look a little bit more refined each time. And when people say you need more contrast, that's generally what they're talking about. They're generally talking about dark lining and having deeper shadows and brighter highlights, so that each piece, each detail looks more refined than if you had just hit it with a wash or you just hit it with a base coat. Because the more defined and the more refined your model looks, the better it's going to be able to read. So these are 3 examples that we're going to be using for that talk at Game Storm next week. And then I've got another talk that I need to prep the models for, on how to paint highlights on different shapes. So we're gonna be taking models, breaking them down into their simple geometric shapes, kind of like this model here. Break them down to the simple geometric shapes and say, okay, the shoulder, that's a circle. The head, that's a sphere. Those are both spheres, right? Well, the arm, that's kind of a cone. The fingers are kind of a cylinder. So each one of those that we're breaking the highlighting down, we now know kind of what shape those highlights should take, as opposed to just doing ovals everywhere or just straight lines everywhere. The more you're able to break down a model into simple geometric shapes, like that the booty cheek. Each booty cheek, that's a sphere. This man's got a couple spheres stuck down the back of his pants. That's just simple geometric shapes. The back of the calf, that's a cylinder. You know, the back of this leg, that's all a cylinder. This shoulder, his back armor and his chest armor, that's a cylinder on its side, because you see how it curves down like that. It's a cylinder put on its side. So that means the highlight's going to follow the long axis of the cylinder. So the highlight's going to go across the back of his armor in a line. Hello, Dream Big. How are you doing? So that's the other talk we're gonna be doing at GameStorm, is just how to understand, you know, what shapes a model is made up of, and then, you know, each one of those shapes has a distinct shape that highlights will take, just based on the physics. And just doing a couple kind of basic intro classes, so working on those. Let's see. Let's do. I don't really want to work on the Golden Demon again right now, because I want to let it dry, and I want to ruminate. I want to think. So we might do a little bit of basing here. So I also picked up these models. This is not going to be at anywhere. I'm warning y'all now. This is not, basing models is nowhere near as interesting as painting or anything like that. So. I've got another model I can grab. We could do some painting on him. We can work on some non-metallic metal here in just a little bit, but I'm gonna zoom this out. I've got all these pig soldiers. These are also from Wrath of Kings, and thought they were really cool, but I've been prepping some bases for them. I'm not actually using any of these models in Wrath of King. I'm gonna use these for other games, because I don't have Wrath of King stuff anymore. I don't have much of it anyway, but we're going to put them on these bases and then prime them and paint them up and use them for, you know, different type of skirmish games. We can use them for D&D, things like that. But I did want to work on these pig dudes. Oinkers. Let's see. I'm checking the Warhammer website to figure out the certain parts of the mini I'm working on are, and I've realized that what I thought was a strap is not. Oh no. What do you... Pigman, what is it that in reference to? What do you mean, depends on the base? What is that in reference to? I missed it. Okay, so I'm choosing a couple spots here. I tend to like having my models a little bit farther back on the base than really far forward. And these all have small pegs built into their legs already. So I've already got a little bit of a head start here. Take that. And this is a new air dry clay, so I don't really know how well this will drill as opposed to just shatter on me. So we're trying something out. We're experimenting. All right, let me make sure I get all the way through here. Okay, didn't shatter on me. It's good. And that fits there, and then that what will go there. That did punch through. Oh, that's because it went right in that slot. Okay. Let's make sure this fits. I don't want to forget my own advice and always dry fit here. So, okay. That fits into both of those just fine. Okay. So I'm gonna take some of this super glue. Make sure that both the pegs and the sides of the bottoms of the feet have glue on them. And making sure that he's standing kind of flat. A wizard would like to renew their membership. This Mechanic Games, crazy, a little over 2 years. Yeah, that isn't it crazy how fast time flies? Thank you very much. We'll get your library card here in just a moment, and then once that super glue kind of sets up a little bit, we can just let him stand there. Oop, put him there. Let's set this off to the side. Let's grab. Let me check and see if your library card's still up here or if I need to go into the box. We need to go into the box. Le box. Le. Let's put these away here while we've got this open. These are from last time. How are you doing, this mechanic? Hope you're doing well. Have you been working on anything lately? Or what have you been working on? I know you've been working on stuff, but just what have you been working on? There's your name, right at the top, right at the very top. Perfect. Alright, here is your library card, this Mechanic Games. And here is your 28-month stamp. Boom, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Some crazy, beautiful knot work, as Ford Fitch mentioned before. And some wonderfully deep, dark satin black and vibrant orange coloration there. So it's got kind of, it looks like somebody down in the ink department was kind of going through a Halloween phase. I wonder if they had Halloween on the mind when they were doing that, but it ended up looking absolutely incredible. Take it away on my City States Conquest Warband. Excellent. I just got the Hubris model from Parabellum. I ordered that the other day, so I saw. So I'm a big fan of the Spires models, and I saw that special edition Hubris model was just like that. That needs to be mine. So I made sure to grab that with some of my Twitch money. Actually, about half of it was Twitch money. So thank you, all of you who support me here on Twitch, and those of you who support me on other platforms. I very much appreciate you. Yeah, I was looking at the new First Blood warbands. A lot of those look really, really cool. They're very, very tempting. There's a couple of them that I am certainly quite tempted by. For those of you who don't know, Conquest: The Last Argument Kings is a rank and flank fantasy war game, and then First Blood is its smaller, more skirmishy version. So think Warhammer Fantasy versus, I don't know, Spearhead. It's a little bit more compact, a little bit easier to play, a little shorter games. And yeah, the price is not bad at all. Absolutely. And First Blood and things like that, those smaller games appeal to me a great deal more than any large army sized games anymore, because they're easy to paint, they're easy to hobby for, and then I can move on to the next thing if I want to, you know, not stuck with just one thing. Yeah, no, Conquest's prices have always been really good. I've always done a good job with that, and I still maintain their resin models are incredible. I've yet to have a legitimately bad resin model from them. Doesn't mean they don't exist, but I've yet to experience one. This guy on his base here. Yeah, look at that. He's going to be a lot of fun to paint. These pig soldiers are going to be tons of fun. Then I get to figure out what game to use them with. Get to use them all kinds of games. There's a bunch of games I'm planning on picking up at Adepticon too, as well. I already have a copy of Night Thirst, I think. No, I have models for Night Thirst. Did I pick up a copy of Night Thirst? I want Witty's game. If I don't, I need to double check and see if I have a copy of Night Thirst. If I don't, I want to get that from Witty. Jamie's game, Jamie Dagger's game, Lictor is going to be available at Adepticon as well. I want to grab that. And then Relic Blade has new plastic models that are coming out, and I believe those will be available at Adepticon. I think they'll also be available online, so I have to decide whether or not I want to order them online or order them at Adepticon, or buy them at Adepticon. I kind of like, if I'm gonna go to Adepticon, I kind of want to buy stuff there if I can, just because that helps make their trip more worth it. But there's also the danger of not buying stuff fast enough and then having to buy it online anyway. So I don't know. Gotta decide what I want to do there. But there's a couple friends games. Yeah, Jamie has a game as well, also published through Blacksite Studios, or will be. It's called Lictor. It is a undead warband skirmish game. So highly focuses heavily on conversions, where you are a type of undead leader, and you've got a warband of different types of undead that you have that you've raised to fight for you, and you're battling it out against somebody else. I don't know much more than that. I demoed it last year, and it was pretty cool. I'm interested in seeing what it's like this year. Yeah, and I assume Witty has her game out. I thought her game had been out for a while. I had thought Night Thirst had been out for a long time, and I just never got to buy a copy because I think they were always sold out when I went to buy them. But you know, I could be mistaken. I could very well be wrong. And I know this is probably super riveting content for everybody, but I appreciate you sticking around. You certainly don't have to. But while we're doing stuff, while I'm sitting around avoiding working on my Golden Demon anymore, because I'm not sure what else I want to do on it. I'm very tempted to just say, okay, I'm done. Very tempted to just say, it is what it is. And just leave it be. So this new material that I'm trying is an air dry clay that I picked up, just some basic air dry clay. I wanted to see how it would do. It is very crumbly, as air dry clays typically are. You know, I'm kind of not surprised, but I'm still a little like, I don't know how secure these are going to be. That dry. Dos más. 2 more. Trying to eyeball these each time. This is a very dynamic pose for the pig. I think that'll work. Now, don't fall apart on me like that. God damn it. Tried to go slow, but that wasn't enough. Let's zip this. Last one. Hey, Chris, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for dropping by. We're just doing a little bit of busy work here at the moment. This is what we've been working on for Golden Demon at Adepticon. That's in like a week. That's what we've been working on for the last little bit, but we're just working on a couple other models here as so a little bit of busy work here. If anybody has any questions about mini painting or how to get started or any of that, please do let me know. Now I put way too much glue there, so I need to clean some of that glue up. Okay. Yeah. Got way too much glue everywhere. That's never gonna clean up. So we'll just put a new tip on. I swear I buy more new tips for my glue because no tip survives the entire glue bottle. Glue bottle always takes longer to get used up than any of the tips because the tips all gunk up no matter how hard I try. I'm obviously doing something wrong. They all gunk up well before the glue is ever used. Okay. He's off to the side. He's over here. Let them cure. Let their glue cure. Okay, let's see. Let's get back into here. Seems like half the stuff on Black Side is sold out. I hope they have restocks for the con. I do too. I do too. I don't know what their I don't know what the state of their studio is or anything like that. So hopefully hopefully they'll be set. They do have a new game coming out called Cosmica, which is kind of a looter extraction game, and I'm pretty interested in that. I'm very interested in that, actually. They've got a launch bundle. Let's see. Yeah, it's a 2-player looter extraction game, which I'm very, very excited. I'm very interested in checking out. Wait a minute, go back. What was that? Whispers of the Deep. What was that? That looks interesting. Oh, I'm gonna have to look into that. Core rules, a lot of minis. Is it a minis game or is it an RPG? I don't know. We'll find out. Let's see. Miniatures. Cosmo, Demon Ship, Mobile Arms, Violent Dark. Hamatsu. That's all fantasy. Outlaws. What's Outlaws? Yeah, I'm not seeing. I don't see Lictor on here yet, so that means it's not. I think it's the initial launch. I'm pretty sure is later. Is that going to be at Adepticon or something similar? Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. What's going on? I wanted to pick up a copy of Demon Ship to support Malev, but they never have it in stock. Yeah, the only time I've ever been able to pick up a copy of Demon Ship was actually when someone local had it, and I grabbed it as soon as I saw it. And they've never had it since. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. They had it once, I grabbed it, and I've never seen it since. At least in that particular store. Just gonna set him off to the side. I'm so tempted to just say he's done. I'm so tempted. He's so close to being done that it's just kind of like, he's John, right? He's John. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I want to work on. Wait. Maybe I do. This is my very first Warcrow model from Corvus Belli. It's the same company that makes Infinity. They have their own fantasy game called Warcrow, and I started working on this model from that. I started working on that last night at my my local store's hobby night. So there's lots of plate armor on this particular model. This faction, most of the faction is actually covered in a goodly amount of plate. So there's going to be a lot of non-metallic metal here, a lot of fun opportunity to get to play around with that. So that's what we're going to be doing. I feel like being a I feel like being a Slayer Sword contender is the difference between he's done right and it's almost there, but I'm going to spend another 30 hours working on Tertiary Reflections. You don't have that dog in you. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I have that dog in me either. Like I want to, and I know there's more that I can work on that, but I'm definitely hitting that point that everybody says that you tend to hit at some point. Is like I'm so sick of looking at this thing. I'm so sick of painting it. It's the issue I'm having right now is I'm not sure what else to work on. Like, do I rework every single reflection and that isn't perfect? Like, probably that's probably what I should do. But I'm definitely hitting that point where it's just that everybody hits of like, look, it is a slog, and you just kind of have to go through it. And I am currently finding myself wanting. Finished, not perfect. Yeah, but to me, this is finished. This is beyond finished. To me, this is beyond finished. And what I've been trying to do is go closer to perfection. And I guess maybe that's just kind of where I am right now. Maybe my standard for finished is too low, and I need to figure out how to ingrain that in myself to like keep pushing farther. It's like this isn't finished. It's not done. But to my mind, when I look at it, I'm like, this is finished. Like it is. Yeah, I guess that's kind of where I'm struggling. Is like, for me, competition painting is, or at least the way I think about it, and this may not be right, and please correct me if I'm wrong, give me some better perspective. To me, competition painting is about going beyond finished. Yeah, maybe that is a self-limiting belief or a self-limiting idea that I have that is just not true. That competition painting is not going beyond finished. It is getting closer to finished than any kind of tabletop would be, and tabletop is just so short of finished that it's not even within sight of finished. I don't know. Like, how do you think about that? Like, compare, because I don't think you play much, but if you were to play Arena Rex, because I know you like Arena Rex, Pikmin. If you were to play that and you were just painting models just to play, like, Where is that line? If your standard for finished is too low, then mine is half a mile below the Earth's crust. I just washed my water in my drinking water. I just washed my brush in my drinking water. Fantastic. From the standpoint of a judge, in tier-based competitions end up coming down to subjectivity. And if they're looking for mistakes, then they're looking. And if they're looking for maybe a relative amateur, as a relative amateur, I have a different perspective. To me, competition should be about pushing yourself as far as you can go, whatever you want that to mean. It should be, but that doesn't win you the competition, right? Even by win, I mean it doesn't necessarily place you. But I agree that competition should be about pushing yourself. And maybe it's just my bad mindset for me, because maybe I'm looking for an out. Maybe I'm looking for an excuse to stop. That is entirely possible, that I could just be looking for an excuse to stop. And saying, you know, I'm never going to get to perfect, so I should just finish here. I should just stop here. It's entirely possible. I'm just looking for an excuse to not go any farther. I consider my work to be finished but not perfect. They more than get the idea that I'm presenting. Painting in general for me is about pushing my skill set with every model. Gotcha. Oh, you've got ads. I'm going to snooze these ads because I don't want to interrupt this discussion. Oh, I appreciate the perspective from both of you, and I think it's just that right now I don't have that dog in me, so I do need to sit down, because I can think of multiple areas where I think the blends could be better. And I really have to get over the idea of, well, why bother working on these blends? I don't think the model in itself is capable of placing very high, so why bother? But that's an utterly defeatist attitude. That's not a great attitude to have at all. But that's kind of where my head is right now. And I think that's the thing that's tripping me up. I think that point that people like Vince Venturella and other people constantly saying, look, it is a slog. And I think I'm running into part of that slog right now that you just have to kind of push through. I'm just not sure what all to work on. I don't pay any different level-wise for competition, commission, or otherwise. Let me put it this way. As someone who's worked in sports and covered some of the best athletes in the world, nobody performs at their peak 100% of the time. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, we can always try to paint to the best of our ability at that time, but that doesn't mean that that is the peak of our ability, right? So we can try to be painting the best and perform at our peak every time, but sometimes based on the situation, the peak is different. But I also take your mean of like take what you mean by put put your all into it each time. I get that. I don't do that because then if I do that, I'll never play any games ever. If I put my all into a miniature, every miniature that I paint, I will literally never play games. I'll be constantly working too hard on the next mini. But I also understand having that standard. I 100% get that. Thank you all for helping me talk through this. It's very helpful having this form of like reflection and why am I feeling this way and what do I do about it? Is this what I'm feeling? Is this what other people are talking about when they say, you know, you gotta kind of push through? And I think it is. So I really appreciate y'all giving perspective on this. It's very, very helpful. Whether you believe it or not, it is very helpful. Yeah, absolutely. There'll always be someone whose skill set is a higher level. I don't mean you aren't good because no one else paints like you. Yeah. No, absolutely. Nobody else paints like you, so you know, don't compare yourself to other people. Other people might paint differently than you. Some people may paint better than you, but nobody paints like you. There's a uniqueness to your style and your painting, because everybody's painting technique is an amalgamation of things that they like in their own physical and mental abilities. No one has a completely unique style of painting, to be honest. This is where somebody comes in and says, "Screw you, man, I am completely unique. In and of myself, no one paints like me, ever." I missed stopping the ads. So we've all got ads going. And we're gonna wait for everybody to we're gonna wait for the ads to finish here, and then we'll get back in here. I just realized that I painted this completely wrong. fingers I'm gonna leave the way they are, but I painted the armor utterly wrong. I gotta redo that.
I never use mathematics or statistics or calculations or anything at all like that because I can't do it. So I just hope for the best.
It's kind of how it feels sometimes. That is kind of how it feels sometimes. Other times, you just kind of...
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells.
Almost there. How long has that been down? How long has my face cam been black? Has it been this entire time? If it's been this entire time and nobody said anything, y'all are jerks. All right, welcome back from ads. Yeah, I didn't want to keep talking and painting because I forgot to skip the ads or to delay them. All right, so let's see. Nerdy Tokyo says I only really started painting 3-ish years ago. I went from just slapping Citadel paint straight from the pot onto the mini so I could play. Fair enough. To I want to test my skills at Golden Demon. I figured that is progress. That is massive progress. Absolutely. Even if skill-wise I have a lot of catching up to do. No, 100%. That's 100% worthy. Absolutely. Pikmin says mine is a conglomeration of 49 plus years in the art, scale, modeling, miniature painting, and special effects. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay now, but I had the lens cover over it, and I don't remember putting the lens cover on. Earlier, so I'm wondering how long that had been on, but oh well, it's all good. No one's work is perfect, as perfect is completely subjective. That's why a piece could get completely passed over at one competition and get gold or best of show at another. That is very true. Definitely seen that kind of stuff happen, and yeah, totally get that. So I did decide I had to redo the reflections on this armor because the reflection was on the very top, and it didn't read properly. So I needed room back here to do bounce reflections, and this was shifted over to the top too much. So I backed that out and redoing that one. better. I'd say it's done when you're happy with it, but to be honest, as the artist, you always see things in it that you wish you had done better or differently. So you just have to find a point where after you're doing your due diligence, you're satisfied with how it turns out. Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I think you're spot on there, and it's really how far do you want to take it? Is that looking shiny? I think it's starting to look shiny. We need more highlight, but I think we're getting there. More focused on the positioning right now. There will be bounce highlights and things like that. Never have the courage to make those big jumps. Do it! Make the big jumps. Now these big jumps, this is for non-metallic metal, but you should still make big jumps. Like look at the I flatter myself thinking that I'm a good example, but these are supposed to be kind of like semi-reflective, but not terribly reflective. But look how dark that shadow is, and go to how bright that highlight is. And look how much more interesting it looks with those bright highlights. Exactly. You just gotta do it. As Shia LaBeouf says, do it. Just do it. Let's see. So I do need to decide on the coloration of the ground so I can do the bounce highlights or the bounce reflections. Now this burgundy, that obviously is going into that burgundy is obviously going into some of the armor from the burgundy from the from some of the clothes, and obviously from the leather. That burgundy has to go into some of those, but I don't really want to work it in just yet because I don't have my full highlights. But like there will be burgundy here from this. There might be some right along the edge here. This will have some burgundy on the rings, maybe a little bit over here, not too much because it's not too close. This will certainly be reflected in here a little bit, maybe a little bit back in here. But then there's also what color's the ground, because the ground is gonna reflect up into some of these darker shadows here. Certainly on this foot, it's gonna reflect up into this. There, it's gonna reflect up into here a little bit, and then this leather is gonna reflect into these shadows where this highlight should be. We got multiple colors we can work in here. So the way to do it is just jump. You'll figure it out. If not, ask for feedback and trial. Real world references and classical art paintings can help. Yes, absolutely. Welcome. Make yourself at home. Trunks 1995, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on into the great library. Grab yourself a chair, grab a book off the shelf, or snuggle up next to the fire, whatever you choose. I'm glad you're here. We're talking about how to decide kind of when you're done and how far you should push yourself on your projects. I think a topic that a lot of people can identify with, because it's hard to call it quits sometimes on certain projects. Or just identifying when you're done and you need to work on something else for a little bit. That can be tough. So getting different people's perspective on it has been really, really enlightening. It's one of some of the things that I like talking about here, getting different people's perspectives, because I certainly have a fairly narrow perspective on certain things. Let's get some of our... For gold non-metallic metal, I find Rembrandt to be indispensable. That's a good call out. Yeah, going back to the masters and seeing how they do gold and what colors they used for gold. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong at least looking at what they've done. And I guarantee you there are articles out there and books out there like discussing their color choices and maybe breaking down what colors they used for different things that you can find equivalents to in miniature paints. TikTok thinks I'm not active. I am active. They didn't have metallic paint, so they had to naturally do non-metallic metal. And yeah, that's true for modern digital painting and a lot of modern canvas painting too. Not many people use full on metallic paints, and even modern canvas painting, and especially not digital painting. Digital can't really show a metallic terribly well unless it's animated. So non-metallic metal is frankly, non-metallic metal is the default way of painting metal for in visual mediums. Just kind of is. Yeah, I'm liking that. There's still a lot of stuff to do. There's still a lot of other colors to put in. Like if we were to push this up to its maximum brightness. Well, maybe not its maximum. We're gonna go in between a little bit. For me, this is more of an exercise in light placement rather than blending, because there have been some really cool non-metallic metal pieces that I've seen that just haven't had any blending. They've just been layers. And the most important thing that's made them look right is light placement. So I'm far more interested in experimenting around with light placement and trying to get that more accurate than blends. So I'm not sure if I'm even going to blend any of this. I'm more interested in playing around with the placement and seeing how good we can get that to look. When it comes down to it, the difference in the look of different non-metallic metal style comes down to vision and paint application. Yes, I agree. Ooh, that's looking nice. I like that. I'm liking that. Hey, Michael Paints Minis, how are you doing? Watch streak reached. 3-stream streak. Ooh, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. See how much pushing the highlight a little higher each time really helps the whole thing read as being more and more metallic and more reflective. It's what I'm really kind of shooting for here. Okay, that's looking reflective, right? I know it's really clean reflective. I'm not fooling myself. That looks like shiny armor, right? There needs to be more bounce lights and reflections in there, certainly, but I think that looks really reflective. I think that's working. I just constantly question myself with it because I don't know if I'm gaslighting myself into thinking that it looks right or if it actually does. Because, again, as I've mentioned before, I don't visualize terribly well. I don't have an image of what this should look like in my head. If somebody says, paint shiny armor, I have a very vague mental image of what that looks like. I do not have a definite, like, mental, clear image of what that looks like, so it's very difficult for me to reproduce just based on my own mental image. Value separation cells metal, and that looks like metal. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's the value separation and the quick transfer, the quick gradients, at least for this level of polish. Once I see it and once I look at it, then I can see, oh yeah, that's metal. But like, if you asked me to visualize what this looked like before what this would look like before I really started painting it, I'd have a general idea, but I wouldn't be able to describe a whole lot, I don't think. Just how my brain don't work right. Brain work in different way. I'm the opposite. I paint in my head. Yeah, I wish I could paint in my head. I'm insanely jealous of you for being able to paint in your head. I can't. I don't even like when I plan a paint job or something like that. I am planning based on visual, like, flashes of inspiration and previous experience. Like, okay, I've done this combination of paints and techniques before, and it will generally end up looking kind of like this impression in my head. But I don't really see it. I know whether or not that will generally work. And then I know that, okay, it will generally work, but only if I pay attention to the ratios. And these are some other things that I need to keep in mind about this particular, this particular set of techniques and paints. I don't see it clearly in any meaningful sense in my head. And I desperately wish I did. It would make this so much easier. Although I think it would make explaining what I'm doing harder. But because I have to figure out what I'm doing every single time, and I have to know why I'm doing it every single time, it makes it a little bit easier to explain, for me to explain what I'm doing. And that's helped with teaching and some other things, but it just makes the act of painting itself a little bit more difficult. Because, like, I know what I want it to look like. I think I know what I want it to look like. Yeah, good luck. Good luck getting there. That's going to be a whole lot of stopping and like, yeah, I thought this was going to end up doing this, but yeah, it ended up doing the exact opposite. So we're going to try that again. I also either they're terrible photos, but I just put a couple of whips of what I've been working on today in Discord. Ooh, I want to go see. Let's go take a look at that. I also either paint straight out after a detailed value sketch as I'm doing that. I'm figuring out the paint scheme depends on the piece. Yeah, see, I'll often do that where I'll do some sketches, or I'll map out where the highlights and the shadows are going to be, and then, you know, once I've got, and while I'm doing that, I can make adjustments. So that's fine. Like that allows working in sketches and adding some sketch stuff in there is really helpful, and I know that's something that you do a lot. That definitely helps me plan, but yeah, I wish I could just like plan it in my head and then just like, okay, I know what I need to do, and then just go. That'd be awesome. It'd be much more interesting and much less frustrating for me. Okay, let's take a look. Excuse me. Let's go take a look at this. This is what Nerdy Tokyo's been working on. Is one of the is this one of the gnomes from Blood Bowl, or is this a different gnome character? It looks kind of like one of the ones from Blood Bowl, but I'm probably wrong. I don't remember them having a... Yeah, it's Rodney Roachbait, who's a star player. Ah, gotcha. Very cool. I like this. It's got a wonderful mustache and a glorious beard, as every gnome should. Oops. Like the classic blue with the red. Very nice. Oh, that's a fish skeleton in his hat. I didn't see that before. He's got to smell something awful. And then there's a... Is this an orc player? Buried with his head buried in the mud? Oh, that's cool. Oh, look how it's folded up. Like he's sliding along and it's folded up the ground. Is this going to be like a part, like a pitch that's folded up around, like underneath his head, that he's dug up part of the pitch? Or what? I like this. This looks like wet mud, but it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be the pitch, and then the ground around the ogre will be torn up, dirt and grass. Nice. Oh, he's an ogre. Okay, full on ogre. Okay, gotcha. Nice. Is he gonna be standing on top of him or something? I like that. That's a lot of fun. This is cool. I like the pants. It's got some wear and tear on the pants. Sometimes I get lucky and find a piece that just moves me to paint it. It becomes an obsession until the piece is painted. My son Wukong was like that. Painted 8 hours a day for a week. That's awesome. That's really impressive. So is he going to be standing on top of this guy, or is he going to have 1 foot up on top of him or something nerdy? Rodney will be standing on the grass, and I've modded the Mini so that instead of kicking the ball would be in midair. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Very cool. I like that. I'm looking forward to seeing that completed. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Those are the ones that look forward, they're exhilarating to work on. The ones that like you just kind of get an obsession about. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Let's set him off to the side. I think we did quite a bit of good work on him. Everything's looking kind of shiny. I do need to base coat more of the rest of the model. That way I've got a better idea of where certain bounce reflections are going to be and how they're going to impact the rest of the model. This super shiny armor. And there's still plenty to do. This whole faction's full of guys and gals in like heavy plate. So there's going to be a lot of quick non-metallic metal done, which is one of the reasons why I'm not too worried about blending on this model or other models in this faction. I'm more focused on wanting to get the light placement right and really focus on bounce lights and things like that, because those will all help the entire thing read. The example that I'm kind of going off of for that assertion is this piece here. Now, if you look at it, it reads as metallic, right? It reads as dark metallic. It's got colored lighting under here. It reads well. But if you look really close, nothing's blended. Like up here on the head, you got layer, 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 layer. They're distinct layers. And that's true on each one of these. It's the shape of the layer, and it's the shape of the layer, it's the shape of the highlight, and the placement that allows the whole thing to read correct and read good. But the blending just doesn't exist. These are all distinct layers, and there's some stippling and things like that, but there's no glazing. None of these are sharp, buttery smooth blends, but it doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter, because the light reads and it looks good. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with these is with this, is focusing more on light placement. And not. That's an amazing paint job. Blending doesn't matter. Yeah. Blending is a good thing to learn how to do, honestly. But yeah, it's an incredible paint job. It's kind of what I'm using as my justification for not doing a lot of blending on these. And he's already reading pretty well. Like, you can see where the layers are. You can see where my sketchy highlights are. But he still reads. And I'm really enjoying that. I am enjoying this. Also, non-metallic metal won't take anywhere near as long as if you're not blending much. That's the thing that takes non-metallic metal the longest for most people, is the blending, because they're all trying to go for smooth blends. If you don't worry about smooth blends, then your non-metallic metal can be done a lot faster. It just makes the light placement that much more important. You should paint my divorced wife back into my life. I wish I could do that. I wish I could fix situations that are sad like that. They're just layers that are close together in hue, but the value jump is what sells it. Yeah. Yes. The value jump is what sells it. And then you're just using multiple layers to... Multiple layers each with a small value jump, but you're using so many layers with enough of a value jump that it sells as metallic and reflective. landscape painter teacher. Yeah, I wish I had been able to sign up for that. I almost never get to take classes at Adepticon anymore because I'm either just don't sign up in time or I'm teaching, and so I'm more focused on other stuff. I'd love to take Ka's class. That'd be really cool, but sadly, I could ask her if I could drop in maybe, but she might be teaching at the same time as one of mine. I need to find out. I'd happily pay her more, or pay to just sit in. It's 11 to 11:30 on Thursday. Well, it might be okay. Might be worth a shot. Thanks to you guys, Adepticon is one of the bucket list conventions to go to. Absolutely, it should be. I wish I could afford the Mark Masclen weekend workshop at the Vault in April. He's 2 on my top 5 favorite painters. I was looking at that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, or I was also looking at Pigments down in the newer painting convention or painting competition down in I think Houston. That's not in April. That's in July. Which is, I believe it's July, which is just right after Origins, or is it in April? I don't know. I really need to be able to go. I really need to go to Pigmented is in Austin. Thank you, Michael Paintsmitties. I appreciate that. I really need to be able to go to these, and really need to make time to go to more of these types of things if I really want to take advantage of these classes. Maybe I should stop teaching, because it eats up so much of my money. Traveling to teach eats up so much money, and then I'm just recouping it at the end. So I'm not actually ahead usually. I'm not actually like making money, so I don't actually have more money than when I started. But I have a lot of fun. Like, I very much enjoy teaching. Don't get me wrong. I very much enjoy teaching. But it's just it's hard to go to all these conventions because I want to go to Nova or at least LVO, or I want to go to ReaperCon. I want to go to Pigment. I want to go to the Vault, because I'm in Portland. Like, Vegas is an hour away. Like, it's like an hour and a half flight from Portland to Vegas. Like, that's not a hard thing for me to swing. It's just the time and the funds. I don't think that back plate is reading right. All of them are very far away from me, so it'd take a ton of planning. Yeah. Well, that means that you need to start organizing them closer to you. See if you can get other people interested in painting to sponsor or to hire a teacher to come out. If you build it, some of them will come. Depends on who you're looking for. Tell me about it. Yeah, Tokyo being all the way out there. Mark's an absolutely amazing painter. He's a sketch style painter and inspiration for me. Your number one is Kirill Kayanov. Yeah, Kirill's crazy. Crazy good. That back panel just doesn't read. And I'm not sure what's happening because to me these panels read. This doesn't read. Why doesn't this read? Is the not enough midtone? Is the highlight too big? Is it the wrong shape? Because light's coming in like this. What was it? It's too bright. I think you might be right. I think the highlight's too big, so you were right. It's too bright. If I was in Colorado, I wouldn't go to LVO every year. But the fact that I can drive there cheaply and easily, yeah, that makes absolutely. And I think that's one of the big reasons why I should be going to LVO more often is just because it is so close, so it would be so much less expensive to go to. Because again, Portland to Vegas is like. It's like an hour and a half. It's nothing. All right, I have to go find lunch and get ready for work stuff. Thanks for the stream. Hey, no worries, Nerdy Tokyo. See you in like 9 days. Yeah, it's so crazy. We're gonna be at Adepticon. We're gonna be able to hang out. It's gonna be awesome. One of these days I will try some non-metallic metal, just not there as a painter yet. It's a it's a casualty. I totally understand. If you ignore blending and you just use regular layering and you use a decent number of layers. No, not... Oh. Got distracted again and didn't notice that the ads were about to start. It's a casualty. Can you still hear me? Yeah.